Greetings, programs. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. How are you, Kevin?
Good, good. It's been a minute since I've seen you.
I know. I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever. I have exciting news.
Oh my, this is I'm I'm waiting. I'm on the edge of my seat, literally.
It is. What is this telling me? Greetings, programs. Good morning. Good morning.
It
Hello.
wants
How are you,
me.
Kevin?
Good,
Can I
good.
change?
It's been a minute since I've seen you.
I know. I feel like
I
I
just
haven't
got
talked
a
to you in
weird
forever. I
notification
have
from
exciting news.
the
I feel
stream.
like I haven't talked.
Oh my, this is.
And
Bear
oh, here
with
we
me for a
go.
minute.
Edit.
I'm on the edge of my seat, literally.
It
No,
is.
I don't know. Anyway,
What is this telling me? Greetings, programs. Good morning.
I
Good morning.
couldn't
Hello.
figure
How
out
are you,
how
Kevin?
to
Good.
change the title. I had a
change?
typo in the title. Why can I hear myself?
I know. I feel like
I just
haven't
got
talked
a
to you in
weird
forever. I
notification
have
from
exciting news.
the stream.
Feel
Oh,
like I
I'm
haven't
not
talked.
enjoying
My,
this
this
app.
is.
Oh, it's right here. Boom. Okay. I just got. Yeah. So I have exciting news. So let's jump first. First, I want to complain that I couldn't change the title of the stream, but it looks like I was able to change the title of the stream. So, 2 thumbs up. Here's the exciting news. Yesterday, after we talked, I did my morning stuff, post show, went to get my um, things ready to go for the day. I was planning a stream yesterday afternoon, and I took Shadow to pee every time I stream. Before we stream, we take Shadow to pee. On my porch was a large box, and in that box was my Elgato teleprompter. So right now, I am looking at you and into the camera while I do the stream. Game changer.
You're so pro now, dude.
I love it. I love it.
Amazing.
Yeah. What are you drinking today?
Um, I'm drinking my favorite red pod Nespresso.
Mm,
I forgot to look it up. It's the red one,
the red
the
pod.
Italian one. Yeah, the red
Okay.
pod.
Do you drink?
Red's my favorite color, so I kind
Is
of
it?
got lean into that. I like red cars. I like
Mm,
fire,
okay.
which is
That
red
makes
and orange and yellow.
suddenly Ever Ember is making more sense.
It found me.
Cool. Cool. I'm having a McCafe, so it's a drip brew coffee. It's just a McCafe blend. It's quite good. I enjoy McDonald's coffee, whether it's from McDonald's or made here at home. Not a hashtag, not an ad.
Hashtag no joke either.
Yeah,
It's a bit.
yeah, yeah. Their coffee's fantastic.
All
Yeah,
right, I'll try it. I'll try it.
get into it, man. You got to get into it. You got to find out if they really bought the Tim Hortons bean farms. Yeah,
We need a research arm for Recruiter Cup.
we do. The Recruiter Cup research team.
Anybody in chat out there, if you're into researching, we got some topics for you to look
That's
up
right.
that will absolutely lead you nowhere.
Yeah. We're going to need you to prove all of the things we say, though. So you need to be an exceptionally good researcher.
Mm, mm. Well, that's like the whole thing, like where when you observe it, it is true, right?
Yeah.
With have you seen that experiment on light particles, like light
Oh,
beam
yeah, yeah,
particles
yeah.
in rain?
When you're watching it, they do like the lines up and down, and when you're not watching it, it like spreads or whatever.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. It's nuts, right? Like our presence changes the way that the light reacts. Or the particles react. It's pretty neat. Did you get a chance to check out yesterday post show? I sent you some clips to YouTuber, graphic designer, business mogul called Future, not to be mistaken with Future from 8 Mile. Did you have a chance to watch any of those?
I have not got to deep dive yet. I kind of caught a few as I was perusing through, but seems like some really solid content.
Yeah, yeah, it's good stuff. I think you'll enjoy. And anybody out there who works for themselves or wants to work for themselves, or just like something good to watch while you're having a poop, definitely check out at the Future. No E, Futur. He's only got 2.3 million subscribers on YouTube, so he probably could use the boost from Recruiter Cup.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Wow, thanks for sending all these people my way, guys."
Huge, huge. Thanks, guys.
Solid. Every follower counts, even the bots. Which
Yeah,
the bots are ridiculous on Twitter. I went and culled my following,
Yeah.
and there was 40 different bots that I didn't even realize were following me.
What?
Yes, and I don't even have a lot of followers. It's ridiculous.
How do you know if it's a bot?
Because I looked at the name and then looked at the picture, and then I went. I mean, it could be a human, but then I would go in there and see one, how many people they're following versus how many are following them,
Mhm.
and then look at their engagement, and there's like no engagement at all. It's just literally a dead account essentially. It's like I
Mm.
can only assume that it's something pumping out those.
Wild. I should go look. I'm curious. You know what? I don't want to know. Bots are welcome here. I'm a bot friendly follow. You can although I have started getting phone calls. I've had the same cell phone number since 2008. I have never from 2008 to 2024, not once gotten a phone call from a telemarketer or like anybody like that. In the last 3 weeks, I've started getting phone calls. It's a crypto place. They call and they try to pretend that they know you. They're like, "Oh, hey Dan, I haven't talked to you in a bit. You know, I just wanted to touch base on," and then they name some bullshit crypto thing. So they called me the other day. We're at the paint store, and I was like, "Listen, you need to stop. You need to take me off your list. I need you to acknowledge that I don't want to have these phone calls. I don't know you. I have no interest in crypto. I've never looked at crypto. I don't even know what a fucking NFT is. Stop calling me." And he was like, "No, Dan, why are you being like this?" I was just so mad. My name's not Dan. Stop. Take me off your list. Anyway, I don't know what happened 3 weeks ago. Somebody gave them my phone number. If I find out who it was, I'll be sending some anthrax.
And apparently it's under the name Dan.
End of the yeah. Well, no, because it's a different name. Well, the other time they called me Chris. They just pick a different name, right? Hoping that they'll land on it. They haven't yet, but it's super irritating, and I don't understand. Like, I don't put my phone number in weird places, you know. But yeah. Anyway.
It didn't sound.
No, I know. I realize.
How I would think it would sound when you just combine those words and say them.
Yeah, I have regrets. I have regrets about that phrasing.
Language is weird.
Isn't it a strange thing?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday you left me with a great question. Favorite society.
Mm.
You know, and I thought about this, like maybe there's a few different ways, but I think you're onto something with this hive mind because I could really get behind like living like an ant, maybe. But
Mm-hmm.
I think ants are a little more entertaining than bees, just
Mm-hmm.
because there's more ants that I grew up around, you know, like the
Yep.
big red ants and the fire ants. But I remember I was going on a camping trip. I was like 8 years old or something, and there was one of those magazines at the grocery store that's like the ridiculous. I mean, it's clickbait essentially, right?
Right.
And I pick it up, and I remember asking my mom to buy it because it was about ants being aliens and taking over the world essentially.
Cool.
And back to like, you know, when your mind is young and pliable and you don't know really what influences it. There was moments in my life where I thought, man, are ants really aliens? And then you brought this back up of like, what's your favorite society? So I think maybe ants might be. However, I was thinking about this as well. Like, it's a little cliche to think, oh yeah, like lions, that's a great society. Like, I mean, fuck that. But alligators,
Hmm?
those guys are crazy. They live all in this compact little environment. Like I'm thinking about the ones in the Serengeti or whatever, right? When the
Yeah.
water's drying up, there's hundreds of them, and they're cohabitating, but they're all individuals.
Okay.
There's something interesting there, you know.
Okay. Okay. I posed the same question to some friends last night. We were doing some keys in World of Warcraft, and I posed the same question to them. And Molly, special shout out to Molly, she said elephants. Now, I didn't confirm this, but I can't imagine she would lie to me. Elephants, the way they work, they function as a society. It's every elephant's job to help take care of the young. So they all work together. You know, it takes a village to raise a child. They all work together to raise their young. They all cohabitate together. They move in herds. And when one is old or sick or is about to die, it goes off away from the herd to die elsewhere because it helps to draw predators because predators are drawn to weak and frail. So by the old frail ones leaving, it makes it easier for the ones that are healthy to avoid danger from predators. And elephants have long memories and they're very gentle creatures, but when attacked or when they feel threatened, they can be destructive and they will wreck your face. So I got sort of on board with elephants. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe elephants are okay. They maintain their individuality and they all sort of look out for each other. I guess it's just people who suck.
Yeah, we're just searching for something better than human society.
Right. So I'm gonna go live with the elephants.
We were in Thailand in 2018 and had an amazing experience with elephants.
Really?
There's a bunch of companies out there that are kind of abusing them, unfortunately, and they still put them to work. Like, I mean, there's people that are literally like on the street riding an elephant that's dragging something. So it's like kind of a weird environment. But we went to this kind of, I guess it's a sanctuary, and the people that are the caretakers have been living with the same elephants for generations. So like the elephants have like 5 generations and the people have like 8 generations of living there.
No way.
So it's like they've grown basically in society with these elephants. It was the craziest thing, man. Like we went on a hike with them and they're just like these, back to your point, these
Do you like
gentle
touch the elephant?
creatures. Yeah, like we bathed them. Next
No
time,
fucking
whenever,
way.
I'll pull some pictures up. We'll do a little show and tell next tomorrow
Yeah,
about
screen shares are a
elephants.
dangerous thing here. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we don't need to tell people about the troubleshooting we had to do before again, but
Some inside
we'll,
baseball.
we'll practice tomorrow and then we'll show it off.
That's
But
wild. What's their
I'll find
skin
pictures.
like?
It's very rough. It's like almost. I mean, it's leathery, right? But
Okay.
it's literally just like rough, and
Cool.
yeah, it's hard to kind of, I think, relate to something that I don't have in front of me to touch anymore. But like,
Right,
uh,
yeah. Is it
uh,
is that that's the premise for the movie Ong Bak, isn't it? You remember that movie Ong Bak? Where he was like a martial artist and he was I think that's what he was. He was like one of those people who grew up with elephants and they killed his elephant and then he went on a killing spree. It's like John Wick in Thailand. ONGBAK. I'm pretty sure that's the premise of that he is one of those people whose family has grown up with elephants and then his gets abducted or killed or hurt or something.
yeah,
Um, yeah, not to be confused with Operation Dumbo Drop, the Disney movie, which is also a great one, starring Danny Glover and Dennis Leary, I think.
mm,
I know a lot of elephant movies, apparently.
this is crazy. And the fact that we were talking about mammoths, and
Yeah,
maybe the elephant is our official mascot
that's
of the
right.
group.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's our segment.
Genius.
Yeah, very cool.
Uh,
Speaking of the elephant in the room, we ended the show yesterday. I told you, I warned you, I gave you notice that I was going to ask you what you wanted to be when you grow up. Now, before we talk about that, let's talk about what we do now. So, what do you do? Who is your daddy, and what does he do? It's a
who-
it's a kindergarten cop reference.
are there elephants in that movie?
No, there was
Okay.
no. Yeah, what do you do now, Kev?
So now, a couple things. I think maybe some viewers might know that I'm the CEO and co-founder of Everember Creative, which is a content creation agency supporting folks like yourself. Um, that's been something that we've been working on as a team now, going on a year and a half. So I fancy myself as a little bit of an entrepreneur. I've started a few different businesses. This is one that's definitely taken um, a solid base, and it's growing.
Mhm.
Better than my other ventures in the past. Let's just say that. But where that fascination comes from is actually from my day job as a commercial banker. So I've been in banking for going on 18 years. Started out, my first gig was typing a teller manual. It's contract labor. And fast forward, I was then training people on that manual, and then stepped into more of kind of a retail operation. So that's like what you would expect when you walk into a branch.
Mhm.
And after I graduated, I had an opportunity to then join the actual commercial team, and that's where you're lending to businesses, the business owners themselves. And from there, that's kind of what my career path has been, is more behind the scenes, helping businesses with financing, and yeah, just kind of growing other people's businesses through my own knowledge and continuing to research and learn about that, and then share and advise. So now I feel like I'm at a point where I'm trying to bring that to life for myself as well.
Cool. How much? I just have a question about banking before we dive into what you wanted to do. How much freedom do you have as a commercial lender? Somebody comes to you, I assume they have to give you like a business plan and then they're asked for how much money they need. How much freedom do you have to approve or deny it versus is it just like, here's the checkbox, so they're hitting the checks on the checkbox? Like, do you get to say, I think this business could work. Let's lend them the money, or I guess it's not investing, so let's lend them the money, or is it more automated?
The so the interesting thing about that, I just got a report that somebody's well, my diehard fan, Mr. Leard, um, is not able to hear me right now, so maybe it's
Oh,
on his end.
let me see if I can hear you here.
Mic check 1, 2. I think it might be
Let
on
me
his
see if
end.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you on stream.
Okay. Well, he'll hopefully. It's just nice to have a fan.
Yeah, that's right. It's good. I'm your fan.
Okay. Yeah, video is laggy.
Okay. It's also the video has been good on my end, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Hopefully it's good now.
I think so. We'll work through this. Back on to your question, which is what authority does somebody have to basically approve a loan, right? So it really depends on the size of business and then the the way the bank is structured. So, ooh, I got two fans in here.
Oh snap.
Couple buddies. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Listen, we disrupt the flow enough on our own, Laird, so it's okay for you to get in on the fun too.
We need things to disrupt us so we can jump over them.
That's right.
Right. So, um, it works in a number of different ways. I'll give you an example. Sometimes people have what's called signature authority,
Mhm.
where they would have the ability to sign off on loans themselves. That usually happens at smaller banks,
Okay.
or it happens with loans under certain values, where you're the market president or a team lead. You'd have $50,000 signature authority or $100,000 signature authority. So that's one way it works. But commonly, when you get into the commercial space, it works through a series of committees. So you have a local committee that you would review that with and make sure the team's on board. And if it's a certain size of request, that it would go to more of a level up, which we would call senior loan committee. And really, it just kind of goes through the rings like that. You do have the authority to deny, though, right? I mean, because at the end of the day, you're not going to take something that you don't think is worth pursuing,
Right.
but you do have an opportunity to, as a banker, to justify it in a number of ways, right? You can do the financial analysis,
Mhm.
but then you really do get to just to share the narrative of how the business works, and the need for the financing, and how that will be used to hopefully grow the business, right? Or support some sort of endeavor that they're pursuing.
This is exciting. Have you ever had a client where you were like, I really want to go to bat for them, but you got pushback on it and you had to like go in and fight for it and it was successful?
Let me think on that one.
All right, maybe
So
yeah. I just in my head, you're like someone comes in and they like give you this great pitch, and you're like, you happen to have some insight into that market data, and like, okay, you know what, this could work, and I really believe in this client, but I know that Mrs. X, my supervisor, is not going to approve this based on stuff, or might give me some pushback, and you just go in and you're like, I know this will work. I
yeah,
believe.
so we had a situation like that for at my previous bank where there was a former banker that we had worked with had started a restaurant company
Mhm.
and was franchising out locations for Fuzzy's Tacos. So that was a situation where the proposal was declined and we had to kind of retool it, go back, go deeper on the business plan, and then repitch it again. And yeah, so I mean, there are times where you get pushback and then you have to kind of reposition what your approach is and go after it. So
That's very
um,
cool.
yeah,
How
it's kind of
much
fun.
how much effort do you put in? Like, do you do your own market research, or do you just take what they give you in their business plan? And like, can you say like, hey, I need you to give me more? Can you send them back for more? I guess you did in that case. You sent them back for more.
So I think a good banker does their own market research. At the end of the day, you can rely on information that you read and pick up or you're given.
Hmm.
But for this example, um, what we had to do was go around and identify what other locations would be competitors to them and do our own little market study, right? So they didn't provide us that, but I literally drove around with one of my junior analysts and we had a map and we said, okay, that could be a competitor, that could be a competitor, and just kind of like geofence it, right? This isn't before you could Google, but that boots on the ground, like it
Right.
mattered, right?
Yeah.
We used Google to see like where to go, and then we went and drove around and identified competing locations and said, hey, there's an opportunity here. That's why they want to open this store, right?
That's awesome. You said you've been doing this for 18 years, so obviously you enjoy it. Does it, does it feed your passion? Like, or is it just like, I am really good at this job and I don't hate it? Like, where's the balance of joy?
Yeah. So
Sorry, this totally became all about Kevin the Banker.
yeah. Um, does it feed my joy? Yes, it does.
Okay.
And the reason being is because I see where my efforts, what they go into, and the results of that. So that's on like the actual relationship side, watching businesses grow. That's extremely rewarding when you know that I put in the hard work behind the scenes to make sure that they can grow their business. That is very rewarding. And when you're talking to business owners, uh, they share that joy with you, and it really does. It's something that feels good at a core level. My role now today, though, is a little less. It's less customer facing and more behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I'm actually helping bankers with tools and resources so that they can go and help their customers. That is a little different. So it's a little bit more project management oriented. So the
Hmm.
waves of joy come a little differently.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta like go through the grind, but I mean you kind of go through the grind on a lot of different things. And right now I'm working on a couple major projects that are not the fun part of the project, but I know once I start getting towards the end and then those go live, that's when you're like, yes, fulfilled, right? So I think that's why I've stayed in it for so long, and also why I like to identify young people who are interested in this career path, because I do really think that a passionate banker or people with passion in the finance business, a lot of people are there just to cut a coupon and move on, right?
Mm.
I think that's where you typically think about like in investment banking, but I would say commercial banking, community banking, those people that are actually there picking up the phone when you call because you need something, like that's the type of banker that I want to be, and that's the type of banker I try to teach people to be.
I love it. That's great. What a great story that is. You said you've been doing it for 18 years. You, sir, do not look old enough to have been doing anything for 18 years. We're going to talk about your skincare routine in another episode.
Well, don't. If we brought my wife up here, she'd probably let you know that I don't have the best skincare routine,
Oh,
but trying to keep on it.
all right. We'll dive in later. All right, let's talk about what I actually wanted to know. Uh, growing up as a kid, did you want to be a banker? Was little Kev like, man, I can't wait to be a banker?
No, no, little Kev was not. Didn't understand what that even meant. I think I was maybe always drawn to it though, because my dad, um, my grandfather's from Switzerland,
Mhm.
so it was either I was going to be a
Oh,
cheesemonger or a Swiss banker, and
right. You went the bank route. I see.
but I used to want to be an explorer. Like that was what I wanted to
Oh,
do. Like, I thought one day, like, and it's still in my mind. I think that's why I love to travel. And when my wife and I travel, that's where we, get really good quality time.
mhm.
So I think in my mind, it's how do I live a life of exploration and newness, but also like always seeking something that hasn't been found. And I think that's
Mhm.
why I take this endeavor of I still take that mindset into banking, which is like growing something or identifying a new way to do something, or even in Everember Creative, which is the creation of new ideas and the exploration of, um, you know, trying to fulfill somebody else's vision. So, in a sense, like I kind of wear that hat or feel that whenever am doing my normal job.
Right.
But yeah, the explorer I really wanted to be was, hiking up the top of a mountain and knowing like, oh wow, no one's ever seen this view that I get
Right.
to like discover.
Yeah, more Lewis and Clark and less I can't think of any JP Morgan. I can't think of any banks.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. What
uh
about you? What did you want to be when you well,
yeah, so when I was young, so like up until about 14 or 15, I wanted to be a lawyer. And my family, I did very well in school. I was very studious. I teachers liked me. Um and I always wanted to be like I felt like being a lawyer was like a what's the word I'm looking for? Prestigious job. I could help people, and that's what I wanted to do. And then somewhere around 14 or 15, I started to feel more like that was what my family wanted me to do, and less like it was what I wanted to do. Um, and at that point, I was just like, I don't really know. My uncle, who was a big influence in my life, was in the army. He joined the army when I was about 14 or 15. So then my goal shifted from I want to be a lawyer to, well, I just want to be in the army. Um, so I went at 18. I actually went and I did the test for joining the Canadian Armed Forces. Scored extremely well on the test. When they were doing the interview, they were like, here's the book of things we have that you can be. You can choose whatever one you want. You qualify for all of them. You can go to university and be an officer if you want. And I was like, I would just like to be in the infantry. And they were like, it feels like a waste. Maybe think about it some more. Um, so I was like, okay, I went home to think about it some more and then didn't go back in for 9 years. I was gone for 9 years. And then I actually joined in the Navy. So I guess, and I wouldn't say the Navy was what I wanted to be when I grew up either, but it's what I did for 14 years. Again, I was pretty good at it. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I don't know. Lawyer, I guess, is what I wanted to be, but I didn't end up there. And I don't know if it was I don't know if part of being a lawyer was the actual like winning a case, or if it was just I wanted to go and be somebody's hero. You know what I mean? Like you're a defense lawyer or you're a prosecutor, you're somebody's hero in that moment. So
mhm.
maybe that's what it was. Maybe I had a hero complex even as a kid.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, you just want to save something or someone, or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Not nearly
You
as
want to be
exciting
a
as
hero.
Explorer. I should have chosen Explorer. That's the right answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it. I think maybe one day I'll be an explorer and you'll be a hero,
That'll
and
be great.
we'll.
Yeah. You could get lost somewhere. We could, okay, here's the plan, Kev. We're going to go to Thailand together.
Okay.
You're going to go on a trip with an elephant group into the woods, into the jungle of Thailand. You and an elephant are going to get lost.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to come find you and save you and the elephant and be the hero. But while you're lost, you're going to discover a temple that no one has ever seen before
Yes.
in the jungles of Thailand. And this will be with them, and then we'll sell the rights and make it a movie. Oh, my new modem just showed up.
Man, you're getting all kinds of setup.
Yeah, that's great. Is he? Oh, I think he needs me to go to the door. All right, we should probably end here because he's knocking at my door, and I don't want him to leave without it. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow morning. I have to run.